The Firestone Tires and Ford incident of 2000 is a landmark event in automotive history that underscores the complexity of corporate partnerships, product safety, and consumer trust. This incident, involving the recall of millions of tires, had profound implications for the automotive industry, reshaping safety standards and regulatory frameworks. In the early 1990s, the automotive landscape was changing rapidly. The Ford Explorer emerged as a symbol of the SUV boom, quickly becoming one of the best-selling vehicles in the United States. Consumers were drawn to the spaciousness, perceived safety, and versatility of SUVs, marking a significant shift in vehicle preferences. Ford, a titan in the automotive industry, partnered with Firestone, a storied tire manufacturer with a reputation for quality and innovation. This collaboration aimed to equip the Explorer with reliable tires, combining Ford's automotive expertise with Firestone's manufacturing capabilities. The relationship between these two companies had deep roots, dating back to the early 20th century, further solidifying their alliance. As the 1990s drew to a close, reports of tire failures began to surface alarmingly. Drivers experienced tread separations, which often led to dangerous rollovers. This product failure led to more than 250 deaths and around 800 people getting injured. These incidents predominantly involved Firestone tires on Ford Explorers, raising red flags about the safety of the vehicles. The frequency and severity of these incidents caught the attention of the media, turning the spotlight on both Ford and Firestone. Investigative journalism played a crucial role in bringing the issue to the forefront, with news outlets highlighting the growing number of accidents and fatalities linked to tire failures. In August 2000, Firestone announced a massive recall of approximately 6.5 million tires. This unprecedented move aimed to mitigate the potential safety risks associated with the tire failures. The recall primarily targeted the P235/75R15 ATX, ATX2, and Wilderness tires, which were commonly used on the Ford Explorer. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, quickly became involved, launching a formal investigation into the tire failures. Congressional hearings were convened, with high-profile executives from both companies called to testify. These hearings sought to uncover the root causes of the crisis and ensure accountability. Investigations revealed several contributing factors to the tire failures. Design flaws, such as inadequate tread bonding and insufficient heat resistance, were identified. Additionally, manufacturing inconsistencies at Firestone's Decatur, Illinois plant exacerbated these issues, leading to a higher likelihood of tread separations. The Ford Explorer's design, characterized by a higher center of gravity, required specific tire performance standards to maintain stability. The recommended tire pressure, set lower to improve ride comfort, inadvertently increased the risk of tire overheating and failure, particularly in hot climates. Behind the technical details were real people whose lives were devastated by the crisis. Families who lost loved ones shared their heartbreaking stories, emphasizing the tragic human cost of corporate oversight. These personal accounts added a poignant dimension to the unfolding drama, highlighting the need for accountability and reform. The incident led to a wave of lawsuits and substantial financial settlements. Both Ford and Firestone faced significant legal challenges, with plaintiffs seeking compensation for injuries, losses, and the emotional toll of the accidents. The legal battles underscored the financial and reputational risks associated with safety failures. In response to the crisis, Ford undertook a series of measures to address the safety concerns. The company replaced millions of Firestone tires with alternatives and implemented rigorous safety protocols and launched an extensive public relations campaign to rebuild consumer trust and reinforce its commitment to safety. Firestone focused on restoring its tarnished reputation by overhauling its quality control processes and improving manufacturing practices. The company prioritized transparency and consumer safety in its operations. The Firestone Tires and Ford incident of 2000 remains a pivotal moment in automotive history, as both companies continue to innovate and grow. The dark side of fashion. Balenciaga's Bondage Bear campaign and the exploitation of children's rights. In the world of high fashion, few brands have managed to create as much controversy and outrage as Balenciaga's Bondage Bear campaign. The luxury fashion brand, known for its avant-garde and often provocative designs, crossed a line that sparked widespread condemnation and calls for boycotts. The campaign, which featured children holding teddy bears in bondage gear, was widely criticized for exploiting children's rights and perpetuating a disturbing and sexual theme. The campaign, which was launched in November 2022, featured a series of images showcasing children holding teddy bears dressed in bondage gear. The images, which were taken by photographer Gabriele Galimberti, showed children as young as 6 years old holding the bears, which were adorned with leather straps, chains, and other BDSM-inspired accessories. The images were meant to promote Balenciaga's new line of teddy bear-shaped handbags, but they ultimately ended up sparking a firestorm of controversy. As soon as the campaign was launched, critics began to express their outrage and disgust on social media. Many accused Balenciaga of exploiting children's rights and perpetuating a disturbing and sexual theme. The campaign was seen as a clear example of the fashion industry's willingness to push boundaries and disregard moral and ethical standards in pursuit of attention and publicity. Child advocacy groups were quick to condemn the campaign, citing concerns about the exploitation of children and the potential harm that the images could cause. This campaign is a clear example of the fashion industry's willingness to exploit children for the sake of attention and publicity, said a spokesperson for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Unfortunately, Balenciaga's Bondage Bear campaign is not an isolated incident. The fashion industry has a long history of exploiting children and pushing boundaries that are morally and ethically questionable. In response to the backlash, Balenciaga issued a half-hearted apology, stating that the campaign was meant to be ironic and subversive. However, the apology did little to quell the outrage, and many critics saw it as a clear example of the brand's tone deafness and lack of accountability. Balenciaga's Bondage Bear campaign was a disturbing and misguided attempt to push boundaries and generate attention. The campaign's exploitation of children's rights and perpetuation of a disturbing and sexual theme sparked widespread outrage and condemnation. We must take steps to prevent the exploitation of children's rights and ensure that children are not used as a means to generate attention and publicity. Anything less is unacceptable. The Bic for Her pen, a case study in marketing missteps and consumer backlash. Marketed explicitly towards women, this product was intended to fill a niche that many argue never existed. The pen became a focal point of criticism, spawning debates about gender-specific marketing, sexism in product development, and the disconnect between corporate strategies and consumer needs. Bic, a company well known for its writing instruments, lighters, and razors, launched the Bic for Her line in 2012. The idea behind the product was straightforward: create a pen that would appeal specifically to women. The features marketed included a sleek design and a comfortable grip, with pastel colors like pink and purple dominating the product's aesthetic. The proposition seemed to suggest that women needed a pen that was not only functional but also aligned with stereotypical feminine aesthetics. Upon its release, Bic for Her was met with skepticism and ridicule. Consumers and critics alike questioned why a gender-specific pen was necessary, given that writing instruments are inherently gender-neutral. The product quickly became a subject of mockery, with its Amazon page flooded with sarcastic reviews. Users jokingly praised the pen for its ability to fit in a woman's hand, and for making grocery lists and recipes easier to write. The backlash against Bic for her was swift and widespread. Critics argued that the product perpetuated outdated gender stereotypes, suggesting that women required special tools for tasks as simple as writing. Social media platforms became hotbeds of discussion, with many users expressing disbelief that such a product could be conceived in the 21st century. Feminist groups and activists pointed to the Bic for her pen as an example of how gendered marketing can reinforce harmful stereotypes. The notion that women needed a different type of pen was seen as patronizing and unnecessary, highlighting a disconnect between the company's perception of female consumers and the reality of their needs. Platforms like X, formerly known as Twitter and Facebook, allowed users to share their disdain and confusion, creating a viral moment that drew widespread media attention. Hashtags such as #BicForHer and #GenderFail trended as consumers voiced their opinions, often using humor and satire to underscore the absurdity of the product. The controversy highlighted the need for gender-neutral marketing approaches. Bic's decision to market pens specifically to women was seen as an unnecessary and misguided attempt to capitalize on gender segmentation. In the aftermath of the backlash, Bic faced a public relations challenge. The company issued statements attempting to clarify the intent behind the product, emphasizing their commitment to diversity and inclusion. However, the damage had been done, and the Bic for her pen became a cautionary tale in marketing missteps.